Carshield. Guardians bring the puck down in the zone. Barr pushes it up to O'Brien. O'Brien shoots. That's deflected off into the corner. Barr goes into retrieve. He pokes it down deeper. He then tries to get it out to Campbell. That's intercepted. Carshield now moving out of the zone to the neutral zone. That's broken up by Cronlund. Cronlund steps around a guy. He then has that puck poked away. Carshield picks it up as they start to enter the zone. They shoot it on net. That goes wide. They backhand it. Wall gets over it. He seals that one up. All right, face off down in the Guardian zone. Carshield wins that draw out to their point. They fire towards the net, but that gets pushed out by traffic. Auburn picks it up as he starts to skate to the neutral zone. He gets to the outside. He's taken on by one of the defensemen there. He's then able to circle around. He's then stripped off the puck. Puck comes back out in the neutral zone. Simonson passes it over to Morbacek. Morbacek back to Simonson. Simonson gets it up to Lynette. He loses it. They shoot it back out in the neutral zone. Simonson trying to go cross ice. That hits a skate. He then goes down. Morbacek picks it up in the corners. He starts to skate it around behind his net. He tries to get it up to the half wall, but that's knocked down by a Carshield player. Now battling in the corner. They come out with it. They fire it on net. Wall's there to seal that one up. .45 left in the first period. Face off down in the Guardian zone. Face-off gets pushed out to the point. They knock it back deep into the Guardian zone. Brian rims it around to... Sorry, that's Campbell rims it around to O'Brien. They then poke it up out into the neutral zone as Carshield starts to regroup. They then move it up the ice through the neutral zone. He's pushed to the outside. Campbell picks it up as he starts to skate it out of his zone. He's now moving through the neutral zone to the outside. He tries to cut it back to the middle. He cuts over, gets it over to O'Brien. O'Brien can't quite hold on to it to get a shot off. He circles around. He's looking for a lane. He gets it over to Higgy. Higgy almost has that puck taken away, but he's able to get it down deep into the zone. Comes back to Higgy at the point. He steps up. He pushes it down deeper. O'Brien then backhands it to Campbell. Campbell now steps in towards the net. He goes around. He's looking for a seam. He cuts back. He then tries to get it out front. Puck's loose out in front. Brian tries to get a shot. That's deflected off into the near corner. Campbell goes in. He's battling along with O'Brien. That comes out to Higgy at the point. Higgy then tries to push the puck. That ends up going down deep into the corner. Carshield then rims around the other way. Cronlund's going to be there to hold the zone. He steps in towards the net. He passes it over to Lynette. Sorry, that's Amos. Comes right out in front, gets a shot. That just goes wide. Amos going over to the half wall to pick it up. He's looking to get it out front. That goes all the way through the slot to the far side here. Carshield then throws it down the length of the ice. That's played by Wall down into the corner. Algren picks it up. He chips it off the wall, but then has that puck intercepted. Cronlund able to steal that puck away. He then hammers it back up the wall. Carshield now with it. They lose it in the slot. Lynette picks it up on the near side. He starts to skate it up the ice. He's moving to the outside. He skates it in towards the middle. He then has that poked away. Morbacek's able to come in. He fires it on net. That's tipped out by Carshield as they rim it around the boards. They pick it up on the far side as they start to leave the zone. They move it through the middle. Morbacek's able to pick it up. He's looking up the ice. He tries to get it up to Barr, but he misses his target. That goes out to the Carshield defense. They move it up through the neutral zone, and they try to tap it down into the zone. There goes to Simonson. Simonson regroups over to the other D. Morbacek goes back to Simonson, but he's off his mark. Simonson now skating it up out of his own zone. He goes cross ice to Barr. Barr now taking it up the outside. He's going towards the net. He fires. That goes wide. That's going to rim all the way around to Simonson here on the near side. He goes down to Lynette. Lynette goes down. Carshield now picks it up at the top of their zone as they start to move it through the neutral zone. Campbell then tries to push that puck away along with Simonson right there on the blue line, but that ends up going down deep into the zone. Morbacek picks it up behind his own net as he starts to break it out. He tries to get it up. Barr's Gets it over to Campbell. Campbell's got a jump here. He's got it right into the target. He fires. That's blocked into the corner by the Carshield goaltender. Carshield picks it up on the wall. Olsen's there. He goes down trying to hold the zone. Carshield picks it up. They skate it out. They then chip it up to the near side here. They then try to backhand it. Doesn't get much on it. Comes to Higgy. Higgy taps it up to O'Brien. O'Brien now skating it up to the far side. He moves to Campbell in the middle. He stripped off the puck, and Carshield sends it the length to the ice, and that's going to be an icing. 9:08 left in the first period. Score still 0-0. Face-off coming back into the Carshield zone. Face-off's won by the Guardians to Higgy. He dumps it down deep into the corner. Now both teams battling for possession. Carshield's able to get that puck to the middle of the ice as they start to break it out of the zone and go through the neutral zone. They move it to the outside. Bronlund steps up on the blue line. He's able to take him off the puck. Algren picks it up, gets the cross ice over to O'Brien. O'Brien now starts to skate it out of his zone. Algren now picks it up. He goes to the outside. He fires it on net, but that's blocked wide. Olsen picks it up on the far side. He then rims it around behind the net. Algren's in pursuit along with one of the Carshield players. They move it up the boards. They're then able to skate it out of the zone, starting to move through the neutral zone. He tries to get it into the middle with fans on it. That allows Guardians to get it back into the neutral zone. Puck's then intercepted. Carshield dumps it down into Cronlund. Cronlund now picks it up. He's got some room to skate. He passes it up to O'Brien. O'Brien now moving through the neutral zone. He steps into the middle. He's now moving to the outside. He toe drags into the middle. He goes through a lot of traffic. He's taking off that puck. Carshield now coming out of the zone. They're moving it up the near side here. They dump it in. That's picked up by Simonson. Simonson met by a couple Carshield players, but he's able to get it up to Cronlund. Cronlund now moving up the ice. He gets it to the outside. He's taking off the puck. Carshield now battling on the half wall. They're able to pick it up. They start to skate it out of the zone. They're able to get it around Campbell. They try to get it on net. He circles around. He tries to wrap around. He goes down. Can't get it there. Carshield now picks it up. They go cross ice as they regroup in the neutral zone and go back into the zone. They fire it on net. That goes wide. Simonson's going to pick it up. Tap it up to Lynette. Lynette trying to get it out. Unable to do so. That comes back down deep into the corner. Carshield picks it up behind the net. They throw it out front. That's loose. They pick it up in the high slot. They try to go their D, but they can't hold on. We now got three Guardians skating up the ice, putting pressure on. That's intercepted. Guardians now moving it to the middle. Amos with the puck. He's stripped off. Carshield now moves it up the ice. They start to move it out of the zone. Guardians aren't able to hold it. Moravicek with it. He gets it over to Simonson. Simonson then moves it up to Lynette. Lynette backhands it down deep into the zone as Guardians go for a change. Barr comes off the bench. He's putting pressure on the far side. They pass it up to the wall. Algren now with it. He's poked off the puck. Carshield's able to get it out of the zone. Carshield now moving it to the outside. Both teams battling for the puck. They fire it. That goes over the top of the net. O'Brien picks it up. He chips it up out of the zone. That goes all the way down. Carshield now regrouping just inside their zone as they start to come back through the neutral zone. Moravicek with it. He goes cross ice. That's intercepted. O'Brien's now battling, trying to get that puck out of the zone. That's Coots over to Moravicek. Moravicek's got some room to skate. He comes to the outside. He then dumps it down deep. That rims all the way around behind the net. Algren and Barr there trying to put pressure on, but they're able to get it up the wall. They now move it in the middle of the ice. They're moving through the neutral zone. And that comes off the bench. Cronlund now picks it up in the corner. He throws it up the wall. They fire it. That hits Cronlund. That looked like that hurt. He's skating right to the bench after that, after blocking that shot. Barr now with it. He moves it up the ice, trying to get it to Campbell. That's off its mark. Carshield now coming back the other way. They get it through. They got a lane down in the middle. They fire it, but that's pushed off by Moravicek. They can't get a good shot off. Puck's now right down behind the net of the Guardians. Campbell picks it up. He starts to skate it with speed out of the zone. He takes it to the near side here. He now gains the Carshield zone. He moves to the outside. He's now looking to get it in the middle. Passes. That goes all the way through. Can't connect. Carshield now moving up the near side here as they start to enter the zone. Hagee's able to get a stick on it. That's broken up. Moravicek with it. Now puck's loose in front of the net. They pass it back in front and Wall covers it up. 4:39 left in the first period. Score still 0-0. As we're going to have a face-off down in the Guardian zone. Face-off comes out to the point. Both teams battle. Carshield picks it up. They gain in the zone. They shoot, but that's blocked. Goes to the outside into the near corner here. They throw it around behind the net. That goes all the way over to the far corner. Carshield with it. They hit the brakes. They start to skate it around behind the net. Algrim strips him off the puck as he starts to skate it out of the zone. He then moves it up to O'Brien. O'Brien now goes cross ice, trying to get it to Olsen. He was able to get it there. Olsen's then taken down from behind. As Carshield picks it up in the far corner, they rim it all the way around. Simonson's going to hold the zone. He dumps it down, trying to get it deep, but can't get it there. Puck's now just inside the blue line. Guardians trying to hold that zone. They come out with it. They get it to Algrim. Algrim fires. It just goes wide. He had that corner picked with just a little off its mark. Carshield now coming down the other way. They throw it on net. That's pushed out into the corner by Wall. Cronlund picks it up. He starts to skate it around his own net. He hits the brakes, comes back the other way. He tries to get it up to Olsen. Olsen then shoves it back up the boards, but that's held by Carshield. Comes back to Cronlund. Cronlund then chips it up high out of the zone. We got a guy that's hurt. Able to get up on his own power, limping. I did see what happened there, but it looked like he was taken down and right there at center ice.
You guys gotta start calling some of this shit.
Oh, a face-off here at center ice. Pushed forward by the Guardians. Carshield picks it up. That's poked off by O'Brien. Carshield now moves it up through the neutral zone. O'Brien now able to get it. He dumps it down deep in the zone. That goes all the way down into the corner. They're going to pick it up around the net. Then try to move it up. Campbell's trying to get there. Algrim picks it up at the top of the zone. He moves it to the outside. He's looking for a seam. Gets it over to Campbell. Campbell's then taken on by Carshield defense. He's not able to get a shot off. Carshield then moves it through. They start to move in. They got a lane. They try to fire on net, but he fans. They then move it up to Amos. Amos starting to skate out of the zone. He moves it up to O'Brien. O'Brien now moving it into the middle. He's taken down. Campbell now picks it up. He fires. That's blocked by the goaltender. Puck's loose. That comes out to Higgy at the point. He steps around one guy and then cuts it back to the middle. He then moves it over to O'Brien. O'Brien throws it towards the net, but that's intercepted by the Carshield defense. Comes down into the corner. Puck now rims around behind the net. Carshield trying to get it around. They then shoot it. That's out of the ice. Morgan tries to get a stick on it. He's going to go regroup in his own zone. He passes it over to Higgy. Higgy then moves it up to O'Brien. O'Brien trying to get it to Campbell in the middle of the ice. Higgy then gets across ice to Barr. Barr dumps it down deep in the zone. That's going to rim all the way around. They then move it into the middle of the ice. It's then broken up by Algrim. Simonson with the puck as he regroups over to Moravicek. Moravicek goes back to Simonson. Simonson then chips it up the boards to Lynette. Lynette now starts to enter the zone. He skates in the middle. He gets it. He fires, tries to get it on net. He can't get anything on it. Comes back to Moravicek at the point. He goes back to Algrim. Algrim's then stripped off the puck. Carshield then flips it up But Morvacek's able to hold the zone, but then Morvacek sends it into the player's box. And we'll have a whistle outside the zone. They're putting the play back in the zone. That's in favor of us. That should be outside, but we'll take it. Barr tries to get it out to Higgy. That misses its mark. Higgy now with it. He tries to regroup. He gets it up to Algrim. Algrim can't hold on to it cleanly. Barr then pokes it away. That goes to Carshield on the outside. They fire it. That goes up over the net. Carshield now pulls it back out front. Barr trying to get out to the point. They shove it back down deep in the zone. That rims around. They pass it out front. They then fire it back on net. Guardians are able to clear it out of the zone. They then go cross ice. That's intercepted by Higgy. Higgy now moving up the ice. He gets it to the outside. He's got defender beat. He then has that puck poked away. Higgy tries the centering. That goes right out to Carshield in the high slot. Brian tries to. Campbell's now going to pick it up in the corner of his own end. He starts to skate around. He then hits the brakes. He's taken down. Higgy's going to pick it up. He tries to get it up to O'Brien. O'Brien then able to poke that puck out into the neutral zone. Carshield then pushes it back up through the ice. They then move it to the middle. They then dump it, but that's going to be picked up by Morvacek. Morvacek goes to Higgy. Higgy moves it up to O'Brien, then to Campbell. Campbell moves it to the outside. He fires. That goes off the side of the net, and that's going to do it for the first period. So after one, score still 0-0. We'll take a quick break and we'll be back for the second. We are back to start the second period. Score is 0-0. Face-off coming shortly. Face-off's loose right at center ice. Carshield gets it. They dump it down deep into the zone. Morvacek goes behind his net to retrieve. He moves it up the boards. Olsen can't get a stick on it. That goes out their defense. They fire it towards the net. That deflects off a skate to the far corner. Puck's now loose in the corner. That comes out to Matt. Ladd tries to poke it up. Can't get a good stick on it. Carshield then able to slap that puck down deep in the zone. Hits a weird bounce off the boards. As it looked like it was going to rim around. They throw it out front. Simonson's able to hit that all the way through, get it out of danger. Simonson now chips it up to Algrim. Algrim now with some speed moving through the neutral zone. He moves it to the outside. He walks around their D. He fires it, gets it over. Olsen on the back door. He's not able to get a good stick on it. Otherwise, that would have been a tap in. They fire it towards the net once more time. That goes wide, rims all the way around to Cronlin at the point. Cronlin goes down. Carshield then hits that puck the length of the ice, and that's going to be an icing. pass one by Carshield. They start to skate it around their net. They then move it up to the half wall. Rollins there trying to hold his zone, but that gets out. Campbell goes back to pick it up. He gets it over to Hagee. Hagee then shoves it up the boards to O'Brien. O'Brien taps it up. Carshield picks it up. Carshield then trying to chip it around Hagee. Hagee's able to get control. He chips it back out into the neutral zone. Carshield now regrouping back to their D and then up the near side here. Cronlund throws his body around. That puck goes down in the corner. Hagee dumps it back. They fire it on net. That puck's loose out in front. They pass it to the far side, but then that's broken up into the far corner. Campbell now picks it up as he starts to leave the zone. He's moving to the outside through the neutral zone. He's taken down. There's going to be a penalty. Well, our first penalty of the game as Campbell is taken down. And Guardians will go on the power play. Face-off down in Carshield zone as Guardians go on the power play. That comes out the bar. Bar gets it to Simonson. Simonson fires, and that's gloved by the Carshield goaltender. We'll have another face-off. Face-off's loose in the dot. Carshield comes out with it. They throw it down. That comes to Simonson on the point. He throws it back down in the corner. Lynette now with it. He gets it out into the middle. He fires it on net. That's deflected out. Carshield now sends it the length of the ice. And that's going to be an icing. Off down in the Carshield zone. That's one back. Barr with the puck. He drops it off to Cronlund. Cronlund goes through the middle of the ice to Hagee. Hagee moves up. He fires it on net, and that's a goal by Hagee. Barr to Cronlund. Cronlund over to Hagee, and Hagee walks it in and beats that goaltender for the first goal for the Guardians. Guardians strike first with 11:36 left in the second period. As we move into center ice to have a face-off. Face-off's a draw right at center ice. Carshield then gets it. He dumps it in. That's batted down by Hagee. Hagee then throws it up the board to O'Brien. O'Brien gets it off to Campbell. Campbell now moving through the middle of the ice. He's sandwiched by a couple Carshield players. He then tries to center that puck out in the middle. That's loose right out front. That's slapped out of there. Carshield picks it up in the high slot as they start to leave the zone. Cronlund moving over, trying to push him to the outside. Now Simonson takes over. Carshield then has that play broken up by Campbell. Campbell then turns it around, gets it over to O'Brien. O'Brien then chips it up out of the zone. That goes all the way down into the Carshield zone. Not enough for an icing. Olsen now nearly intercepts that pass right in the middle of the slot there. Carshield now gets it out into the neutral ice. They fire it towards the net. That's kicked out by Wall. Campbell picks it up. He circles back deep into his own zone and then comes through the middle, passes it up to Olsen. Olsen now moving it up the near side here as he gains the Carshield zone. He fires it on net, but that's sticked off. Goes wide. Campbell picks it up. He rims it around the net. O'Brien's trying to get to the other side to hold that puck in, but they get it up the ice as they start to leave the zone. They then go to the far side, trying to get it to one of their players, but that's off its mark. Simonson picks it up. He regroups around behind his net. He then passes it up to Amos. Amos then taking off the puck, but he gets it back. He then moves it up to Lynette. Lynette gets it over to Simonson. Simonson now with some time. He moves it over to Moravicek as they regroup. Moravicek now skates it in. He then dumps it down, trying to get it down into the zone, but struggling to get it in. Carshield then goes cross ice, nearly intercepted by Lynette, but then Carshield dumps that puck in. Moravicek forced to go back behind his own net to pick it up. He then comes down, he breaks up the pass there, but Carshield's able to get it out in the neutral zone. Campbell's then able to get the puck down into the zone. Carshield trying to get it out. They send it the length of the ice. Morvacek stops that one as he starts to regroup. He moves it over to Simonson. Simon hits it with a skate. He then walks out. Morvacek now. Carshield with a break. They shoot and a score. Carshield now starts to move it into the zone. He's tied up with Higgy. They both go down. It's then moved up to O'Brien. O'Brien goes cross ice. Algram now moving through the middle. He's taken on. He can't hold on to the puck. Carshield now coming back the other way. That's broken up. That's passed up to O'Brien. O'Brien gets it up to Barr. Barr moving to the outside. He's got Algram on the back door. He moves it to the outside. He fires. That goes off the crossbar. Goes all the way out to Higgy at the point. Higgy starts to move it into the zone. Higgy skates it around the net. He tries to wrap around the back door. Shot and a goal by O'Brien. Higgy wraps the puck around and he tries to get it through. That comes to O'Brien on the back door, and he's able to tap that one in for goal number 2 for the Guardians. So that's Higgy with the assist, O'Brien with the goal. Guardians answer right back after that Carshield goal with 8:31 left in the second period. Olsen now moving it up the far side. He's taken down. Carshield picks it up in their own zone as they throw it around. But that's going to be there on the back side on the half wall. He's able to get that puck deep, but he's taken down. Carshield picks it up behind their net. Campbell's there battling down in the near corner. He comes out with it. He tries to get it through the middle, but that's poked back into the corner by Carshield. They then go up the boards. Morvacek trying to hold his zone there. Puck's loose there at center ice. Campbell picks it up. He moves it up to Lynette. Lynette now steps in the middle. He's then taking out the puck. That comes back. Campbell trying to get a stick down and unable to do so. Carshield now moving through neutral zone. They move it to the outside. He's put a lot of pressure on. Campbell then tries to move through. He gains the zone. He moves it. He fires. That's deflected. It goes wide. Olsen now picks it up in the corner. He's then taken off the puck. Carshield rims it up the boards. That comes all the way to Morvacek. Morvacek starts to skate in the zone. He hits the brace. He's got a lane. He shoots. That's tip. Nice tip there. Deflects right at the goalie, but he's able to be there to stop it. When that's now in the corner, he goes down. Carshield picks it up. They move it into the middle of the ice. They start to leave the zone. We got a 3-on-2 coming the other way for Carshield. Morvacek moving him to the outside. He gets around Morvacek. He then fires it. That goes off the side of the net. They then try to wrap around. That's broken up. Puck's loose right in the slot. That comes out. Olsen then able to fire it, but that goes right to their defense. They fire it on. That's tip. Just goes wide. Carshield now picks it up in the corner. That's poked out to O'Brien. O'Brien now to Campbell. Campbell starts to leave the zone. He's got some open ice out in front of him. He moves to the outside. He then cuts back to the middle. He then fires it on net. That's gloved down, covered by the Carshield goaltender. Left in the second period, scores 2-1. Guardians win the lead. Face off down at Carshield's zone. Guardians win the draw. Goes back to Higgy. Higgy then throws it back to O'Brien. O'Brien's knocked off the puck, and Carshield's able to hit that puck out into the neutral zone. They go to Cronlin, then they go back to Higgy to the far side as they regroup. Higgy starts to skate it up the ice. He moves it to O'Brien. O'Brien then has that puck poked off the stick. Now battling in the neutral zone. That comes back. That comes back into the Carshield. They try to rim it all the way around. That hits the ref. They're forced to pick it up. They then pass it to the near side wall here. He's met by a couple Guardians player. Cronlin steps up. Amos now with it in the slot. He fires. That's blocked by the goaltender. Carshield picks it up. They hit the brakes. They then throw it up the boards. Cronlin's going to step up to hold the zone, but that gets out. Carshield now with a break towards the net. Higgy's trying to get there. They fire. And that's comes through the seam of wall there, and that's goal number 2. Face-off's won by the Guardians. Simonson with the puck. He starts to lift up ice. He passes to Campbell in the middle of the ice, then it kicks over to Lynette. Lynette now moving up the far side. He hits the brakes. He's looking to get it out to Simonson. Simonson with it now at the point. He goes back deep to Campbell. Campbell now battling on the wall. Lynette goes in to move up. They're going to rim it around the boards. Simonson's there trying to hold his own. They chip it out. Moravicek's got to go back to get it. He's got one guy pressuring him from behind. He picks it up. He starts to go around behind the net. He then tries to get it to Barr. Barr chips it up out of the zone. Carshield now coming back into the zone. That's poked away. Campbell with it as he moves to the outside. He tries to get over to Barr. That hits a skate. Then it's loose. And the goaltender covers that one up. We'll face off down in the Carshield zone. 4:51 left in the second period. 2-2 is the score. Fire on net by Olsen. And their goaltender seals it up. We'll have another face-off. Face-off's one. That comes right out to O'Brien. O'Brien backhands it towards the net. That comes around behind. He picks it up. He chips it out to Higgy at the point. Higgy runs into some trouble right there, but he's able to get it back to O'Brien down in the zone. He skates it towards the top of the circles. He then loses it. Algrim takes a shot, but that's deflected out by one of the defense. Algrim now with the puck. He skates to the outside. He moves it all the way over to Higgy. Higgy now walks it in. He winds up, takes a shot. That's deflected. Algrim trying to get a stick on it. He moves it back out to Cronlin. Cronlin now tries to get it back. That pass is intercepted. Carshield now coming back the other way. They fire it on net. That goes wide. O'Brien now trying to get it up to Algrim. Algrim trying to set her to Olsen, but that's intercepted. Carshield now coming back up the far side. Cronlin steps up. He's met by two Carshield players, but he's able to come out with it. Olsen now with it, moving it through the neutral zone. He chips it around the defense and walks around the outside and picks it up in the corner. He rims it around to the far side. Carshield now moves it in the middle of the ice as they start to move it through the neutral zone. Got a 3-on-2 coming back the other way. They fire it on net. That goes wide. That comes all the way around to Olsen as he picks it up on the blue line. He chips it off to Campbell. Campbell now moving up the near side here. He hits the brakes and then he loses the puck. Carshield's able to dump it back into the neutral zone. They're now gaining to the outside. Moravicek's there to break that play up. Higgy picks it up in the corner. They then get it right on the middle and they shoot and they score. Takes their first lead of this game as they chip it up into their own bench. We'll have another face-off. We're going to have a whistle here. Guardians get a penalty for cross-check. That will go in the box. Guardians will go on the penalty kill. Moravicek sends it around the boards. Amos trying to pick it up on the far side. He tries to chip it out, unable to get there. That puck comes all the way back behind the net. Moravicek now battling in the far corner. Carshield then throws it down deep into the corner. Morbicek's there to battle. Morbicek comes out with it. He chips it around the boards. They move it out into the middle. That kicks back into the near corner here. Simonson now battling with two Carshield players. Carshield comes out with it. They throw it around behind the net. They come out to the point. They then throw it deep. That rims around behind the net. Simonson's there battling. Simonson comes out with it. He chips it up to Campbell. Campbell now moving up the far side. He chips it around. He's then bodied. No call. Carshield now coming out of their zone. They move it through the middle of the ice. It's broken up by Campbell. Campbell now with it. He fires to the back door where Amos is sitting there where the tap in. What a play. That pass is intercepted high on the slot. Campbell moves it in. He sees Amos on the back door, moves it over, and we got goal number 3 to equalize this one. Shorty for the Guardians there with 1:52 left in the second period. We have 21 seconds left on the penalty kill. Face-off's drawn all the way back into the Guardian zone. Cronlin rims it all the way around. Higgy's now going to pick up the puck. He chips it up, trying to get up to Auburn. That goes all the way out into the Carshield zone. They then backhand it up into the neutral zone. They try to get it down deep. That's for the offsides. Face-offs pushed forward by the Guardians. It goes all the way into the Carshield zone. They pick it up as they regroup. Both teams are now full strength. They go across ice. That's intercepted by Higgy. That's going to be offsides once again. Face-off's owned by Carshield. They then backhand it deep into the zone. Cronlin goes back to retrieve. He skates around the net. He then reverses, goes back to Higgy. Higgy now starts to skate it out of the zone. He tries to get it up to Campbell. That's just a little long. Carshield now moves it up. Puck comes all the way around behind the net. Campbell's there. Higgy comes in to help out. Higgy now with the puck. He steps to the outside. He's now skating it out of the zone up to the far side. He's then taking off the puck. Carshield picks it up. They backhand it back into the neutral zone. Brian's able to scoop that puck up and dump it down. Carshield then throws it up the boards. O'Brien's there battling. Carshield's able to come out with it. They move it cross ice. Morbicek moving over. He chips it up into the middle. That's intercepted by Carshield. They throw it back. Simonson picks it up. He starts to regroup. He tries to move it up to O'Brien, but that's intercepted. They then chip it around. They take a slapper on net. That's pushed off by Wall. Both teams battling with 6 seconds left in the period. They fire. That goes over the top of the net. And that's going to do it for the second period. We're all tied up here at 3-3 after 2. We'll take a quick break. We'll be back for the third. about to start the third period here. Face-off's won by Carshield. They then move it up into the neutral zone and then try to dump it down deep. That comes to Cronlin. Cronlin moves it over to Higgy. Higgy then fans on it. Carshield picks it up. They're going towards the net. He then centers. Puck's loose out in front. That's pushed out. Carshield picks it up behind the net. They then move it out there to the fence. It's nearly intercepted by Amos. Carshield then dumps the puck back deep. It comes around behind the net. That puck's loose right out in front. Amos is able to get there, hit that puck down into the corner. Cronlin now with it. He gets it up to Algrim. Algrim now chips it up out of the boards. That goes to the Carshield defense as they start to regroup. That's blocked. And that had to wait for Guardians to get back on side. We got a battle just outside the blue line. Algrim picks it up. He passes it over to Amos. Amos now moving it to the outside. Carshield now picks it up in the corner. They hit the brakes as they come up the near side here. They then move it up. Higgy now picks it up. He steps back. He steps around two guys. He starts to enter the zone. He's now moving it towards the net. He drops it off to O'Brien. O'Brien's then taking off the puck. The puck comes in the corner. Carshield rims it all the way around. Barr's going to try to pick it up. I'm not sure what happened there. Just puck went by. Comes out in the neutral zone. Higgy now with it. He moves it up. That's intercepted by Carshield. They get it back out into the neutral zone. They then slap at the length of the ice, and that's going to be an icing. Circles around. Barr now with the puck. He gets it over to Simonson. Simonson now it's in time. He moves it back to Barr. Barr tries to get it up to O'Brien, but that's taken off the puck. They then throw it out into the neutral zone. Morbichuk forced to go back. He dumps it back. Campbell picks it up. He passes up O'Brien. O'Brien taps it back to Campbell. Campbell now takes it towards the net. He toe drags. That's been poked away. O'Brien picks it up. He tries to backhand it. Barr then tries to shoot. That goes wide. Barr picks it up behind the net. He's now circling around. He fires that blocked off into the far corner. O'Brien now picks it up. He hits the brakes as he comes back towards the net. He then gets it over. Barr's tied up as that puck comes all the way through the slot. Campbell now picks it up. That comes out to Simonson at the point. Simonson now scanning it up into the zone. They then pass it off to O'Brien. O'Brien gets it. That goes off the side of the net. They then throw it up around the boards. Simonson's going to try to pinch. He's able to hold. Barr now with the puck. He gets it across the middle. That's intercepted. We're going to have a call here. We have a player down. He's able to get up on his own strength as he slowly skates back to his bench. Face-off will come to neutral ice. Face-off's won by Carshield. They pass it out into the neutral zone and in the middle as they start to gain the Guardian zone. That's poked away by Cronlin. Cronlin now steps around a guy, then able to pick it back up as he starts to move it up. He moves it up to Olsen. Olsen now has a lane to the net. He fires. That's blocked away by the goaltender. Puck's loose out in front. That comes right out to Lynette. Lynette fires. That goes off the shin pad. Higgy's able to hold the zone. He then gets it over to Algrim. Algrim now circles back. He gets it back to Higgy. Higgy steps around one guy. He fires it on net. That goes wide. It comes to Lynette. Lynette now looking for a seam. He passed it right out front. Puck's loose. That comes back out. Cronlin dumps it off to Higgy. Higgy fires it on net. And it's off the post. Nearly goes in. He had that goaltender beat, but the post saves him. Olsen now battling in the corner. Carshield comes out with it as they throw it around, rim it around behind their net. Cronlund trying to hold the zone, but they're able to throw it the length of the ice, and that's going to be an icing. Guardians putting a lot of pressure there on that shift. Nearly got one, just dinged off the post. As the score is still 3-3 with 10:20 left in the third period. Face off down in Carshield zone. Carshield wins the draw. They come back up the near boards here. We're going to have a penalty. Looks like that's going to be on us. Tripping penalty on O'Brien as Guardians will go on the penalty kill. Face-off will come back into our zone. Face-off's broken up. Moravchuk picks it up behind the net. He then rims it around. Barr's trying to get there to get that puck out of the zone. He chips it out into the neutral zone. Carshield now picks it up as they start to regroup. They come back, they start to move through center ice, they dump it the length of the ice. Not going to be an icing. Simonson picks it up, he starts to circle around behind the net, he hits the brakes. He then goes to safety behind his net. He then chips it up, O'Brien then able to chip it up out of the zone. That's going to go to the length of the ice, they're waving that off as it was tipped. Barr's now putting pressure on. Carshield now starts to move out of the zone. Barr putting pressure on. They kick back. They throw it all the way out. Moravchuk now with it. He's got some time. He starts to move it up the ice. He then moves it cross ice to Simonson. Simonson's able to gain the red line, then dump it down deep. 30 seconds left on this penalty kill for the Guardians. They throw it out. Barr putting pressure on. Campbell's able to intercept. Carshield picks it up. They start to move it through the middle of the ice. They start to move it to the outside. They then dump it down deep. That's going to rim all the way around the net for Cronlund to pick up. He fires around. Campbell's on the far side. He chips it up, trying to get it to Barr, but unable to get it there as that's intercepted. Cronlund then pokes it away. Campbell then hits it out to safety into the neutral zone. Barr then is able to break up that pass through the middle. Carshield now picks it up. That's poked away. Carshield now fires it on net. That's loose out in front. Walls then seals it up, and we'll have a whistle down. We'll have a face-off down in our end. Both teams are full strength now. 8:30 left in the third period. Score 3-3. As Algren moves in to take the draw. Guardians win the draw. Hagee rims it around to Lynette on the far boards. Algren now picks it up, trying to get it out of the zone. That comes on the neutral zone. Olsen's there. That kicks back. Carshield goes D to D, then they lose it. That's Algren right in front. He's got it. He can't get a stick on it to get a shot. He now circles back around. He moves it out to Cronlund at the point. Cronlund goes back to Algren in the corner. He then has that puck poked off his stick. Carshield then picks it up. He goes high off the glass. They then pick it up as they start to move it out of the zone. Cronlund steps up right at the red line. Puck's loose. Carshield waits. They then dump it down deep. He's going to pick it up behind the net. Hagee moves it out in the middle of the ice. He steps around two guys. He then goes down, gets it up to Lynette. Lynette now moving it up the far side. He cuts it back to the middle. He fires. The goalie just able to get the top of the knob of that stick, and it deflects up over. Otherwise, I think that one was going in. Carshield now moving it up the neutral zone. They step around Cronlund. They now got a 2-on-1. They pass it over, but that deflects out wide. Puck's now down in the corner. We're going to have a penalty on Carshield as he pushed down one of our Guardian players. The Guardians will go on the power play. Campbell moves in to take the draw. Face off down in Carshield zone. 7:23 left. Moravicek. Moravicek with it. He goes to Campbell. Campbell goes back to Moravicek. Moravicek now with some time. He starts to skate it in towards the zone. He fires, trying to get it over to O'Brien. That goes all the way through. Carshield picks it up from the far side as they start to leave the zone. They move it into the middle of the ice. That's then broken up by Campbell and Moravicek. Moravicek then tries to get it up to Campbell. That pass is long. Carshield now stepping around as they start to gain the zone. They then dump it down deep. Moravicek's going to go pick it up behind the net. He's now going to start skating it up the ice. He chips it off to Campbell. Campbell now moving through the neutral zone. He starts to slow things up a bit. He then hits the brakes, moves it over to O'Brien. O'Brien now moves to the outside, back to Campbell. Campbell now goes to Moravicek. Moravicek goes back to Campbell. Simonson steps in. He tries to get a shot. Puck's loose. That shot on net, deflected out by the goaltender. We now got a scrum behind the net. Campbell comes out with it. He circles around. He fires. That goes off the defense. Doesn't get to the net. It's then shot out to Moravicek. Moravicek steps up. He fires it on net. That's kicked out. Campbell now circling around the top of the circles. He passes it back to Amos. Amos then shoots. That's deflected out behind the net. He's then pushed down from the back. Then we're going to have another penalty on Carshield. That'll give a two-man advantage for the Guardians for about 14 seconds. Well, they'll have an opportunity here to hopefully regain this lead. Left in the period. Face-off kicks out to Peralman at the point. He starts to move up. He drops it off to Algrim. Algrim now goes cross-ice to Higgy. Higgy now walks it in. He then goes to the middle to Algrim. Algrim has a lane. He fires. That goes over the top of the net. Carshield now throws it up the boards. Higgy tries to hold it, but they're able to chip it down the length of the ice. And that's going to be an ice. Have a minute left on this power play. Carshield wins the draw as they start to skate around the net. They then try to throw it up the boards, but he fans on it. That comes down to Higgy. Higgy now with it. He cuts it back. He starts to skate it into the zone. He moves to the bar behind the net. Bar tries to get it out front. They then rim it around. Higgy's going to pick it up on the half wall. Higgy now moves around. Comes around the top of the zone. He fires that Bar. Bar tries to tip that in. Hops over stick. Comes out the backside. Campbell tries to lift that up over the goalie. Ends up going over the net. The net now gets it back to Higgy at the point. Higgy moves it around a player. He's now trying to find a seam. He goes to Bar behind the net. That hops over the stick. Bar now trying to battle in the corner. Carshield then rims it up the boards as Carshield starts to move it out of the zone. Cronlin's going to poke that puck away. He's now moving up. He takes it up the far side. He chips it over to Campbell. Campbell's on the backside. He shoots. That goes through. Bar's now got it lost to his skates. Campbell comes in to help out. Bar picks it up. He's still battling behind the net. Campbell moves in. That's going to chip out to Lynette. Lynette's going to have some room here as he starts to skate through the top of the circles. He drops it back to Bar. That comes out to... We get a penalty. I don't even understand what this is for. Bar pushes them down. We'll go to the box. Carshield will get a power play of their own. Left in the third period. Face off down to Guardians zone. Guardians win it. They rim it around. Olsen's moves to the half wall to pick it up. He tries to chip it around. He's able to get control as Guardians start to leave the zone. He fires it on net. That's pushed away by the goaltender. Algrim's going to beat the Carshield defense into the corner. They then rim it all the way around. Carshield's going to pick it up in the half wall as they start to leave the zone. They move it out in the middle of the ice. That's too long. Moravicek intercepts, then moves it up to Algrim. Algrim now moving it up the far side. He's going to take that puck around the net. He then is bumped off the puck. Carshield's going to pick it up in the half wall. And that's poked away by Aldrum. They then go cross ice. Moravchuk steps up. He breaks that play up. Carshield then goes up the board. Simonson's going to pick it up his own zone as he starts to regroup. He cuts back. He gets it back to Moravchuk. Moravchuk's then going to send it up the boards to Aldrum. Aldrum can't quite hold on as that puck gets out behind him. Carshield now starts to move through the neutral zone and then pass it cross ice. They're going to dump it in on net. Wall pushes that puck over to the near corner. Simonson's there battling. Carshield picks it up. They pick it up behind the net. That comes all the way over in the corner. Looks like we're going to have some coincidental penalties here. Looks like on Simonson. Seconds. Cronlin goes back. He rims it around behind the net. Brian's going to go battle on the half wall. Carshield comes out with it. They start to skate it towards the net. They get it out. That's poked out, and that's sealed up by Wall. Both teams are now full strength. Face-off down in the Guardian zone. Score still 3-3 with 2:53 left in the third period. Carshield wins a draw. They go back to their defense. They fire it towards the net, but that's deflected out by Campbell. It's then pushed out. Barge trying to get a stick on it. Carshield then rims it back into the boards. Puck's now down in the far corner. Cronlin then backhands it to the opposite end. Guardians then go high up off the glass. That comes out to the Carshield defense as they start to regroup. They go cross ice. They then move it up as they start to gain the zone. Puck's now to start. Carshield with it. They shoot. That's blocked and pushed out by Wall. Campbell picks it up as he starts to move it out of the zone. He moves it up to O'Brien. O'Brien moves it up to Barr. Barr now moves it to the outside. He's trying to push it around. He's knocked off the puck. Campbell and O'Brien come in to help out. Barr now with the puck. He shoots it out. He gets it to Higgy at the point. Higgy now trying to get around the guy, but that's intercepted. Carshield then pushes it back out in the neutral zone. Cronlin now regrouping. He moves it over to Higgy. Higgy circles as he starts to look up ice. He then moves it. That's going to be waved off as Carshield was able to lift the stick. Otherwise, that would have been tipped. Carshield then goes cross ice. Higgy steps up. He's able to hold the zone. He then tries to tip it up. Carshield now picks it up. That comes out in the neutral zone. Higgy's going to slap that in. That's going to be offsides. Will come all the way back in the Guardian zone, and they're going to call that intentional. Face-off's won by the Guardian. Simonson now circling around. He rims it back up the boards, which he came. Back to the point. They fired on net. That's blocked and hit over to the far corner by Wall. Simonson trying to backhand it up to Amos. Aldrum now picks up the puck. He moves it over to Moravchuk. Moravchuk hits the brakes. He's now looking. He gets it up to Aldrum. Aldrum hits it off the boards. Carshield intercepts. They dump it down. Simonson's able to get a stick, knock that puck down so it doesn't get deep into the zone. Aldrum now picks it up. He's skating it down in the zone. He's got a guy on the back door. He fires. That's pushed out by the goaltender. That rims all the way around to Moravchuk at the point. He's trying to hold the zone. Carshield now coming back the other way. Simonson's able to poke that puck away. Carshield now picks it up. Now Aldrum pokes away. Their defense comes in. They fire it on net. That's deflected out. Carshield picks it up in the corner. They rim it out front. That comes all the way out to their point. They shoot it on net. That's deflected out. Moravchuk hits it out to safety. Comes back to their point. They dump it down deep into the corner. They then centering. That's broken up by Simonson. Lynette now trying to get it out. He has that puck stripped away. Campbell now battling. That shoot, that's blocked away by Wall, nearly gets in. Battling now behind the net. Lynette now trying to get to that puck. Carshield putting a ton of pressure on. Algrim's able to get that puck out. He's now moving up the near side. He's got a lane to the net. He fires with 1 second left, and that's blocked it away, and that's going to be the end of regulation. So after 3 periods of play, scores 3-3. So now we'll move into a 5-minute 3-on-3 overtime period. As Guardians will try to take this win in overtime. We'll be back in a couple minutes for the start of the extra innings here. Guardians win the draw. Campbell now moving through the neutral zone. He moves it to the outside. He gets around to the defense. He fires. That's blocked away by the goaltender. Carshield now coming out with it as they start to move it out of their zone. Ogram's then there. They throw it out. Hagee's going to be able to pick this up as Guardians control possession of this puck. Hagee now battling. He moves it to the outside. He then has a poke to the boards. He's able to pick it back up. He then goes cross ice over to Campbell. We now got a 2-on-1. He passes over to Algrim. Algrim can't hold on, but he picks it back up in the corner as he starts to circle through the top of the zone. He passes it over to Hagee. Hagee now moves it into the zone. Hagee now dancing around at the blue line, still with possession. He moves it to the outside. He cuts it back towards the net. He comes around the backside. He's looking for an opening. He cuts back. He fires. That's pushed out. Campbell's now going to pick it up, but he's bodied. Algrim's now going to try to put some pressure on and try to regain control of this puck. Carshield comes back out the other way. We're now moving out. We got a 1-on-1 with Hagee pushing him to the outside. They fire. That goes way wide. That's going to rim all the way around. Carshield's going to pick it up on the far wall. They then dump it down deep. Hagee's going to go back to retrieve. Campbell's now going to get possession of this puck. He rims it up. Algrim's going to be able to pick this up, hopefully. That comes through. Algrim now with it. He's got a guy on his backside. He's got a lot of pressure. He circles back around. He's got some room. He skates it in towards the net. He fires. That's blocked. Carshield now shoots it out of the net. Carshield wins that puck race. He's got a lane to the net. He shoots. That's pushed out by Wall. Comes back out front. Wall pokes it away. Puck's loose right out in front of the net. Hagee now picks it up. He passes it up to Campbell. Campbell now moves it in. We got a 1-on-1. He skates it to the outside. He's waiting for some of his team members to come in. He gets it over. That's a little long for Barr. Barr picks it up as he starts to circle through the top of the zone. He passes it off to Cronlin. Cronlin goes back to Barr. Barr now has a lane to the net. He taps it around. He goes down into the corner. He has a stick knocked out of his hand as he's battling. Tries to kick that puck out of the zone. Carshield now coming back the other way. They push it outside. That's kicked out by Wall. Cronlin tries to push it up. Carshield picks it up, comes loose out in front. Wall is able to save that. They come back, puck's loose. That hits out front. They fire it once more. That goes over the top of the net. That comes back through. Wall seals that up. Brian's going to pick it up on the far side. Guardians now coming back the other way. Barr now moving through the neutral zone. He's got one guy to beat. He moves it through, he toe drags, he comes back, he gets a penalty. We're gonna have a tripping penalty with 2 minutes left. up, down in the Carshield zone, and it'll move to 4-on-3. .206 left in this overtime period. Face-off's won by Carshield. They pick it up as they circle around behind the net. They then rim it up. It comes out of the zone. They move it back to Cronlin. Cronlin then moves it up to Campbell. Campbell steps around. He starts to move it into the middle of the ice. He dumps it off to Algram. Algram now with the lane. He steps around one guy and then loses it down in the corner. He's able to pick it back up. He tries to get it back to Campbell, but that's intercepted by Carshield. Carshield now moving out of the zone. They fire it on net. Minute 34 left in this overtime period. 56 seconds left in the power play. Cronlin rims it around, trying to get it to Higgy. Higgy chips it around. Campbell's now in a foot race. Carshield picks it up. They backhand it up out of the zone. Carshield then throws out the boards. That comes out to Cronlin. Cronlin goes back in his own zone as he starts to regroup. He's moving up the ice. He moves it to Algram. Algram gets it back to Cronlin. Cronlin now moving up the far side. He toe drags around one guy. He moves it over to Campbell. Campbell now with it. He toe drags. He's then bumped off the puck as it goes down into the corner. Carshield then steps out. Higgy's going to step up. He moves it down deeper into the zone. He tries a centering pass, but that's pushed out. Carshield picks it up behind the net. They come back out the other side. They then try to throw it the length of the ice. That's going to be right on net. Wall plays it over to the corner. We got 41 seconds left in this game. Campbell now with the puck. Guardians start to move it up the zone. They got 4-on-4 back on the ice. Carshield then dumps it back into the zone. We got a guy coming off the bench for Carshield. Higgy now picks it up. He's taking out the puck. Campbell picks it up. He toe drags. He loses it. That comes back out top. Just enough to get out of the zone. Campbell now picks it up. He circles back. We got 10 seconds. Cronlin now moving up the ice. He tries to get it over to Olsen. We got 5 seconds left. I don't think they're going to be able to get it to the net, and that's going to do it for this game. So after overtime, this one will end in a draw, 3-3, as both teams will start to line up for the weekend. Guardians went 2-0-2 against Carshield here down in St. Louis, Missouri. Both teams will start to shake hands here, and we'll get packed up. We'll start to make the venture home. I just want to say thank you to all those who tuned in this weekend. Great weekend of hockey here for the Guardians. We'll be back next weekend for some more act. Hopefully you'll be there to watch.